Welcome back to the Phanatics. We have been gone for 2 weeks. Zach, how you doing?
I'm good. Good. Tired, but good.
Tired. As you can see, the Fanatics podcast is just Nick and Zach apparently now. No, Madison is a very busy young lady. Um, so let's do a little update on why we haven't been around for 2 weeks. Um, I had a procedure, um, a trial procedure, um, called a spinal cord stimulator. It's where they taped my back with an unnecessary, ridiculous amount of tape. They put this battery pack thing on my back. They inserted these. They're called leads, but my back calls them little holes I have all the way down my spine. Um, but yeah, it went well. It doesn't take away full pain, but it relieves pain. My pain level is usually around 8-9. I would say it was around a 3-4. So that's on a scale of 10. So that's pretty good.
That's a win.
Um, that's a win. Yeah. So I have no clue when we're gonna actually do the real thing. Um, I had to cancel my Phillies game, which I'm upset about, but that's life. So um, yeah. So we got a lot going on. We missed 2 weeks, and so let's jump in. I mean, we had a home run derby participant that did better than we probably all thought. So what do you think, Zach? Why don't you
Way
give us a
better
little?
than way better than I think everybody thought. I think that was a surprise compared to all the other people we have on our team to compete in that event. But I mean, Bomer came out and he showed out. That was awesome. I was excited and really into it. I mean, we were going nuts. So that was exciting and really really fun. I think the big thing we thought it might mess with his swing a little bit, but I don't think it really has. He's the perfect person for that kind of event to continue his success throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, this isn't a Bobby Abreu situation. The pitches were all basically the
He
same location that he would hit a regular
his
double. It's
his
just
pitcher was very very good. I
yeah.
will
So
give
I
him
mean, he
that.
he was just he was just doing what he would do every other day. It's just batting practice, you know. So yeah, it was fun. He had a cool bat with all the players'
Yeah,
numbers and names on there. I liked that. Bryce with the water,
the
and
water.
and it
Was
was
it
just
water? Was it
it woulda
water?
woulda performing enhancing water.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, after the national anthem, anything was possible.
yeah, geez, we don't even. That was
Sorry,
in the
I
All
didn't, I
Star
didn't mean to bring
game,
that up.
but yeah, I mean that was pathetic. I mean, there's been some really bad national anthems, but that has to be up there as like top five,
Yeah,
maybe
that
maybe
was.
top three. Like that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but we had speaking of the All Star game, I mean, we had some guys make some pretty cool plays in the All Star game.
Mhm.
Trey being mic'd up for Trey, Bryce, and oh my gosh, Bohm
Oh,
being mic'd
yeah.
up was that was perfect timing. I'm so happy that happened. It
Mhm.
was just great.
Yeah.
Man,
They gave us a lot of national exposure for the All Star game. I mean, rightfully so. We had the most people there, best team of baseball. But they did a good job of really putting the Phillies in the front line and doing a good job. Even like the coaching staff with the pitchers and stuff was awesome.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
happy
we only
everyone got a
saw.
chance to pitch.
Yeah, we only saw. I mean, what the four pitchers combined for like I think what 11 batters or something like
Something
that.
like that.
It was
Yeah.
some stupid weird stat. I think hold on, let me see if I have it. I think I have it right here. Yep, right here. 4 outs, 11 pitches combined between Strom, Hoffman, and
it's,
Sanchez.
it's perfectly fine with
11,
me.
11 pitches.
That means they didn't get overused, and I'm perfectly
Yeah,
content
no,
with
none of
it.
it. I mean, Torey Lovello came out after he saw Sanchez throw what 2 pitches, and he was like, "All right, I'm good.
Yeah,
We're not gonna see
two
it anymore."
two pitches,
Yeah,
two
two
pitches, two
nasty
outs.
pitches. Yeah,
He's done. Yeah, I mean, it was great for some of the younger guys like Bohm and Sanchez to be there, and I was happy for them. Even some like some more well deserved veterans like Hoffman who
Mhm.
has struggled and was able to turn around his career to what he's been able to do. So
Yeah,
it's just been great to see. It was great to fun to see, and but that's over now,
yeah.
and it's the end of July, which only means one thing in I guess a baseball fan's world. Um, are you
Well,
a
two
buyer
things.
or are you a seller? And
Yep.
Phillies are buyers, and
Mhm.
I guess two things there, right? Um, so there's a lot of guys out there that are going to be rumored and nonsense because it's going to happen every day till July 30th. Um, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you see the Phillies are linked to Derek Jeter just because that's how the rumors work. Uh,
Right, Big Poppy.
Big Poppy, rumored to Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Uh, he's going to play,
resigning from Fox.
yes. Like, so, I mean, just there is some of them there that can make a lot of sense.
Mhm.
If the A's are willing to part with Mason Miller, the Phillies give whatever they ask for farm wise, and you go win yourself a championship because I think that would be it. Um, Man, and then there is some other there's Tanner Scott who's not Mason Miller, but he's having a hell of a season too.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean bats wise, there's so many guys. There's Rooker who I don't think the Phillies are going to be linked to anymore. Apparently, at least from what we saw today,
Yeah.
which makes sense from a uh, baseball standpoint. He's a
But see, the thing that I saw, I'm sorry to cut you off. The thing that I
no
saw
good. I
about
want you to talk.
when when I saw that, it kind of made me think like, are we really buyers at the trade deadline, or are we just kind of gonna stay put? And if something falls into our lap, it falls into our lap. That kind of worries me though, because I really think we should be pretty aggressive at the trade deadline. But to see the reports that we were out on, I think it was what Tommy Pham, which I'm fine with, and Rooker and Jazz Chisholm, which
Chisholm.
I'm fine with. I'm fine with all three of those really. Besides, I kind of liked Rooker, but that just kind of makes me either think like, okay, they're really key on one or two guys, or they're not really key on doing anything unless it just plops into their lap and they don't have to do much for it because
We went
they
over
have so much
this in the group chat. Um,
fun.
we said, could this Phillies is it a move really needed, um,
Mhm.
or can they win without it? I mean, they realistically they could win without it, but do
Right.
you? I mean, you have
Well, what comes to my mind is which move matters more because if you're dialing it down to do we need a bat or a pitcher, pitching wise, we're not sold 100% on our fifth starter of Tyler Phillips just yet because he's 22 years old or something like that.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
had a hell of a couple games, but he's not a fifth starter just yet. You still have Taiwan Walker, who might be the least valuable player coming up later.
Hmm.
But you know, I think if they're looking at it from an organization standpoint, I think the pitcher makes more sense because you can probably it's a way easier to go out and find a bat than find a pitcher that you can have for 5 6 years where you match it up with what you have right now with your starting staff and your bullpen where you have control of people for a while. So that's
And
where
then
I'm at. I think it's either pitcher or nothing.
you also have a young bat on the bench already who deserves some
Hmm.
playing time as well in
Yeah,
Weston. So
he's
I
done
mean,
well.
he has done well. He had a big home run the other day.
Big
We
sacrifice
lost
fly today.
we lost that game, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah, I mean,
athletic too. He can play a utility role. So
yeah, yeah. I if that's if they're you're in the Phillies front office and you're going, I don't need a guy to play every day. You already have your guy on the
mhm.
bench. You already have him. But
That's
if you're
why I'm
going, I
saying
need a
if you're not getting a superstar, like you don't really need to make a splash on the bat side because you can.
no.
I mean, we've already done it without superstars in our lineup, and we've won games. Yeah, we were
They're
what
going to keep
17
winning
and 15
games.
without JT or whatever it was, but
And I mean that they could realistically be sitting there looking at, we just got our trade deadline piece
right,
being JT.
got the best catcher in baseball back.
We just added our extra bat we needed back. I mean, they could be doing that. I
Hmm.
mean, so I mean, I if they're really just going, we just want to rotation guy. They don't need anybody. But I mean, a rotational outfielder. They don't need anybody. But if they're going, we need that bullpen piece. After seeing Alvarado Friday, I mean, it makes you question that. Hey, maybe he looks like his last, other than today, on July 21st. Everybody, other than today, he was he's been really bad. So
Yeah.
if he's going to be your guy that comes out at the end of the games, even though you have a fantastic option to come out in the ninth inning, but apparently that's just
Well, I like what they
ridiculous.
did with him today. What he came in like the seventh, I think it was. I
Yeah.
think that's a good inning for him. It's kind of a setup role where it still could be high leverage, could be very high leverage. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
and it's not a closed situation where it's all or nothing. He still has, he doesn't have to go into it all
Yeah. So
nervous.
they got to be cautious in LV spots to build up confidence if they want him to actually go out there. Because right now he's not the best. He's supposed to be our flamethrower who goes out there and takes care of business, and he's not. So there's so, and it's funny because we could sit here and we could talk about how we need a bullpen piece too, but even the bullpen is probably better than most teams
Yeah, yeah.
altogether. So it's, yeah, you can go, man, Mason Miller is the final piece to this team to win a championship, and you could be right. You could be right, but
But look how
I
good
could
Union
also go
Marte was today.
right.
Like just calling up people, and I mean,
The depth
they've been
of this
doing their
team is
jobs.
the depth of this team is why they have the best record in baseball. And
Hmm.
when I was going over my rants when everyone was saying the Yankees were better than us, I brought that up. I said the depth of this Phillies team is why they're the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I mean, I want Mason Miller more than anybody, but is it realistically going to happen? I mean, the but are
The
the
Phillies have already kind of said that Aiden Miller is kind of untouchable. So
yeah,
I think that's
and
someone that has to be involved in a trade like that.
yeah, and if you want a bullpen piece, and the Marlins are willing to give you Tanner Scott, you might as well go for it if they are.
How old is Tanner Scott?
I think he's 29.
Okay, I haven't really followed his career too closely.
I
I just
know
know he's
that
been a pain.
yeah, he's 30.
Okay.
But I mean, for to add another piece to your pen going into some important baseball coming up, I mean, why not? Um,
I don't know. I think the other thing too is that you're kind of looking. I heard this topic come up earlier today, and it was more about like, yeah, we have a window now to win, but we had that window back from '08 to 12, and then after that, we went through some terrible years because we gave away the farm basically to
yeah,
get
and
some
I mean
people. Do we
we
want?
could
I mean,
also
that could be a conversation for another day. We don't want to
it
negative
could
like
be.
that.
I know I know winning's important now, and you look at it and you go, wow, okay, our best players are all in their early 30s, and
But they're
you're
not
looking at
going
your
anywhere anytime soon. You know what I mean? A
yeah,
lot
I
of
know,
them.
but your window is will slowly start to shut. But I mean,
Yeah.
you don't pay Trey Turner tons of money for him to expect to decline. You don't pay Bryce Harper tons of money to expect him to decline.
Yeah.
So I mean, is we talked about this before, and we're always kind of saying that we have to win now. But I think realistically, we're good enough to win now. So we were good enough to win 2 years ago.
Last
We
two
were good
years.
enough to win last year. We're good enough to win now. So Um, I mean, if all things went the right way, we're sitting here talking about a team that should be three-peating. Like, so it's hard to justify making these moves, even with the little lineup changes. Like we all thought that Marshawn should be the backup catcher when JT came back, right? But Garrett Stubbs has been there. He's their hype guy.
It kind
They
of like
have
solidifies what we're saying. They like what they have.
yeah.
But the one
So
other interesting thing that I thought from the All Star break, actually, when they were interviewing Bryce, is about like we don't care who you are, what about this, we just want to win, kind of thing. So like that kind of also tells me, and like they had the interview about him and how close he is to Dombrowski and everything. That they're on the same page, they know how each other's thinking. So that kind of tells me that maybe they are open to something, but it's maybe a particular player, and maybe we don't even know who it is just yet.
it could be anybody. I mean, if Bryce wants somebody and then that team's willing to trade them, Dabrowski will do whatever it takes to make sure Bryce is happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I said that in going into 22 when they got Schwarber and they got Casti, it was known that Bryce wanted help and he got it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, it's when I made this list, I have a bunch of players on here that are no longer really talked about. But I mean, maybe a Cody Bellinger if they are okay with having another lefty in the lineup. But I
The
mean,
thing that scares me about that is, I mean, it's a rental for sure because
yeah,
you have if he has to opt in, he has opt ins and opt outs and whatever, So that's another big thing too. I mean, do you give up because you're going to have to give up big prospects for that, and you're not insured that he's going to opt in and be with you next year. Which I think in a case like that, I don't know why he wouldn't. You know what I
oh,
mean? He's getting
I
paid a
feel
good
because
contract,
he's gonna want money, so he's gonna go after
right?
the money. So I
Which
mean,
I mean, it could benefit him too if he does come here and he wins a World Series hitting the market again, or just opting back in and staying with the Phillies because no one else is going to pay him what he wants.
yeah. I mean, Belly's. I'm pretty sure Belly believes he's worth more than what Belly is worth after having
Yeah.
his struggles. You still have to earn some trust back before you start getting those big contracts. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you take it over to the South Side, Luis Roberts Jr. has been talked about 100 billion times. I don't really want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it anymore. If he's a good right-handed bat,
It'd be nice to
he
have.
would he'd be nice to have. He would play center every day. But then you know what you're taking away from that? I can't believe I'm about to defend this. You're taking away a fantastic defense from Johan Rojas, and like you can't get that from anybody
but
else.
you could also theoretically, I mean, if you think Rojas is the better defensive center fielder, you could play him in center and put Roberts in left and sit Marsh against lefties because
Yes, let's
Roberts is a
piss
righty.
off the
You know what I
Marsh fan
mean?
base even more.
I'm sorry.
I,
I'm sorry. I don't really like that, but Marsh has not proven that he can hit lefties just yet. I
and
hope he can, but
I no, that's a fan. I didn't even for some reason my brain didn't even think that through. Just putting him in versus lefties, but
all right.
yeah, I mean it's a good idea too. I mean, I know the crazy Brandon Marsh fan base is way more hired on Brandon Marsh than he probably really is ever going to be, and that's not a shot at Brandon Marsh. I love Brandon
Yeah,
Marsh. I'm just giving you the realistic
yeah, that's our
projectile of
dog.
this player,
That, Brandon Marsh is our dog, but we need
and
to
we love
look
him,
at the
but
big
you have to
picture.
be realistic. You have to be realistic. I love Brandon Marsh more than anyone probably. I mean, he's probably like one of my top three favorite players on the team. But I'm realistic, and I understand that I see them struggle versus lefties, and you can sit there and argue about how he needs to be out there. But I mean, what is it? What is
He's
it? I
not
mean, if
out
you
there
have,
for a reason.
yeah, I mean, Pache's not any better. That's why you can sit here and make this argument. But you can make an argument because Pache sucks, but you can't do that if you had a better
Oh,
bat like
I
Roberts.
do. The moves that have been made to this point have all been kind of what I thought were the right moves, like designated doll for assignment and calling up this person, sending this person down. I think everything has kind of worked out in the perfect storm. So I'm really excited to see the trade deadline coming up and when it actually starts. Who starts the trading dominoes?
Yeah, I mean, that could literally start happening tomorrow, realistically.
It can happen right
Whoever ends
now.
up, yeah, it could happen right now. Whoever decides to finally start making some moves, which they normally wait in baseball. Same with,
Yeah.
I guess, most sports. They wait. That's why they have that show. I think it's really just a television marketing thing, but
The other thing we didn't really talk about either. Someone who's planning on making a return soon from injury over on the West Coast.
Someone on the West Coast. Is it the same food that Molly had for dinner?
Does it rhyme with route?
Yes, it rhymes with route.
So yeah, we're fishing for trout again.
I mean, if all right, so if we're going to sit here and say, "Wow, we this is our window," if we're going to go back to the window argument, and you're saying this is our window, then you throw Mike Trout on this team and you win a World Series, no problem, right? Are you good? Are you distracted by something? You all right?
1 second. Just
What? Well, he's talking. Okay, see now he's laughing a little. Oh, he's talking again. You see, there he goes. And it looks like he's itching the back of his neck. So I'm not sure if that's like some type of nervous tick or something, or but he's explaining something. Oh, he froze. It looked like he froze. Oh, okay,
we have a
there he
dirty
is.
diaper situation.
Oh, we had a dirty diaper situation.
So hold on 1 second.
Okay, so
21:35. Mark it down.
no, this is perfectly fine. Our plus 100 viewers are going to be so happy with the fact that I have to sit here waiting.
All right, sorry.
Are we good?
Kids and shit. Kids and shit.
Yeah.
Shit and kids.
Yep. They go hand in hand. So are we good?
Yes.
Do you remember where we were? We were on
No.
trout fishing.
Yes. Yes. Fishing for trout. Oh,
All right.
my turn to stare at you.
All right.
Trout fishing. Yes.
All right. So tomorrow morning we'll wake up early and we'll go fish.
Yes.
I will start my
Yes.
drive now. And yeah, so if you want to win now, um, and you really do think your window is closing within the next couple years, and you're thinking that you could win a World Series this year, you make the move for Trout. If you also need to realize that you're going to be throwing a lot of money on your books if you do make that
Yeah.
move.
Yep.
So
But they did say they were going to save the powder. So, how much powder do they have? They were
I
in on Yamamoto, so they have the powder clearly. In
yeah,
my mind.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, so if you have the money and you want to do it, and you want to win, I guess go right ahead and go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
the you don't say no to Mike Trout because that's idiotic, and
Right. I think everybody in Philadelphia would hate the fact that you said no to Mike Trout if you said no.
so I mean, it would make his Eagles season tickets a lot easier. So that'd probably
Yeah.
be good.
And his
Um,
golfing in New Jersey and
yeah,
all that stuff.
I likes New Jersey. It's a weird
Mm.
concept. But yeah, I mean, it would be good to get him. I'm not going to sit here and say no, but like I just said, if we already think we can win now, so if you add Trout, you're, I guess, just saying that your window is right now, which you better go win it because if not,
Mm.
you messed up pretty bad. So, all right, I think that's it for trade talk. I am so sick of trade talk. We have one more podcast of trade talk, and it will
Mhm.
probably be talking about trades that happen.
I was about to say, yeah,
Hopefully,
maybe we'll have some news to talk about.
hopefully. I mean, the next podcast
Hopefully.
would be on the 28th. Trade deadline's on Tuesday, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, so we might wait and just um maybe we can record later in that week. It might be but yeah,
It
let's
might be
talk
an
about
emergency pod or something.
yeah. So let's talk about some first half awards. I made a little system and I took it from some other page I saw, but it's okay. So yeah, why don't
Hey,
you
if
give
it
me
works, it works.
yeah, why don't you give me yours first? They don't have a podcast, so it's fine. So why don't you give so why don't you give me your list and I'm excited to hear it.
um, I think my first half MVP. It's kind of hard because I really want to go with Trey, but he was out for so long, so
Hmm.
it's kind of like the qualifying circumstances, I guess, if you want to throw technicalities in there. But for me, I really think it's got to be Bohm. Um, as far as offensively, for sure, he's really turned it on. With what does he lead the league in doubles? He's second in
Yep.
RBIs in the NL. I mean, Harper, you can make a case for Harper too, but I think Bohm is mine. For
Do you
Cy
want to
Young,
wait? Wait. Do you want to go back and back like MVP, then Cy
yeah,
Young,
yeah,
then?
that's fine.
All
Yeah,
right.
you can go.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
um, I did put Trey down, because I don't think there's a better player in baseball right now than Trey Turner,
Hmm. I agree.
and it's. I remember people originally were getting upset about the All Star vote because, like, why is Trey starting? Because if you watched Trey Turner play baseball at all this year, you would
Then he went
realize
to the
that
All Star game and showed you why he's starting.
Trey Turner deserves. I the When Trey Turner gets hot, it's just like next level.
Yeah,
It's it's crazy. I would love to see that in like the end of October,
yeah.
just straight
When it's
getting
really
hot.
rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I know everyone was like they wanted WBC Trey Turner, and last year we got minor league baseball Trey Turner, but this year you got the guy you wanted, and he's just incredible to watch. I wouldn't know. There's
He's
been a lot
earning
of
every
times.
penny.
There's a lot of times that we wouldn't win a game if Trey Turner wasn't on this team. So
Yeah,
that's what
agreed.
I'm going with. I got to go with Trey. And I mean, I was on the same toss up about Bowman, Turner, and you could make a case for Harp, like you said, but Trey Turner is exactly what Trey Turner is supposed to be, and he's incredible. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, let's hear your first half Cy Young.
First half Cy Young. So I kind of thought about this pretty deeply, um, and it was really between for me it came down to Ranger and Christopher Sanchez, and I kind of went with Sanchez because I think he's been phenomenal. I really like how he's advanced his pitching game, and I think he's earned the contract that he got. He's it's not shying away from it. It's not a distraction to him. He had a rough, I think, last one or two outings, right? But he came out and he pitched very very well. His last start, and I really think he earned that All Star vote. I think he should have gotten the vote from the beginning too. I think he might. To me, he's probably been our Cy Young, and I really wanted to lean with Wheeler, but I can't deny what Sanchez is doing.
So I mean, for consistency purposes, Sanchez is probably the most reliable guy out there, right? I mean, you could have made a case for Ranger earlier on when he started off so hot, right? But then his last was it 3 or 4 starts now
Yeah,
have not been hot. So I left this blank because I guess I was going to decide on the pod. Um,
on the spot.
so I know realistically you can make a case for 4 guys to be considered the Cy Young for the first half. So I'm gonna go with Christopher
I like
Sanchez
I like how
as
you
well.
said four guys. You included
I'll
Nola
get
in
to
there.
I'll get to that in a little bit. And you know what's on the list already. Um, so I'm gonna go with Christopher Sanchez because I expect to win every Sanchez start. Um,
Mhm.
and talk about just nobody nobody thought that this was the Christopher Sanchez we were gonna get, and this is what we got, and it's to just solidify a pitching rotation that's already really good. He just went out there and just nailed it.
And he's
So I
so
mean,
young still. He's still just getting better every start.
and that's the
That's the
benefit of
scary part.
having. That's the benefit of locking up 2 of your young lefties in your lineup now. Because let's say Painter does not get moved and he gets called up, and Wheeler retires or something along those lines, you still have your 2 big dogs on the top of
Yeah.
the rotation. I mean, and you could realistically say that in a few years from now, that Christopher Sanchez will be the ace of this team.
You could,
So
yeah. You can make a case for that.
I he can make a case for it if he keeps it up, which I think he's going to do the second half.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, you got to give it to him. All right, let's hear your least valuable. I actually have three people, but let's hear yours.
I'm gonna go with two. I won't go with three. But my least valuable people are Christian Pache and Taiwan Walker.
Okay.
Taiwan Walker's been absolutely non-existent, basically, and when he has been in there, it's been a nervous wreck for Philadelphia Phillies fans. And Pache's been, I guess you could say, solid defensively, but offense is just a dud. So those are my two. I don't really have to go
So
too far into that.
my two are Taiwan Walker. I'm not gonna. Zach summed that up pretty well. My other one got taken off the team, being Whit Merrifield. It was
I
just
didn't, I
so.
didn't include him, so that's why I didn't. But he'd be
It
on my
was.
list too.
It was just so bad, and we
Yeah.
were excited about Whit.
hmm
But it was. But it
It
was
sucks.
bad.
I thought
And
he was going to be a good addition to the team.
but my third one is actually a player that we need to be playing well, and the fact that his value is looking pretty bad right now. It's Bryson Stott
hmm
because you need Stott to be playing well, and you're sitting
Yeah.
here and he's not. I mean, he's you guys out there in the Phillies world can criticize Nick Castellanos all you want. Bryson Stott's batting worse than he is.
Yeah.
So, and
It's not pretty.
it's not pretty, and it's almost his bat is non-existent. I don't expect him to get big hits. I don't expect him to be the guy he was last year.
hmm
Second half comes. Hopefully, I change my mind. We'll go over this again. Maybe I'll be going, okay, well, Stott saved himself. But
hmm
right now, I have to include him because I mean, we all expected Bryson Stott to be doing what Alec Bohm is doing. He was supposed to, they're supposed to be growing together, doing this future of the franchise type of deal, and he's not it. He's not it. And I love him more than most players. I have his jersey for crying out loud, but I just don't know if he's the. I mean, right now, I would take playing Amando Sosa over second base than having Bryson
That's what
Stott in
they're doing that a
there.
lot.
And that's
Yeah.
what they're doing. He's losing more ABs. I don't know if he got figured out or if he's just having a bad season. And maybe he needs a Trey Turner standing ovation, but something isn't right. And I hate to call him out,
Yeah.
but I'm a very realistic person. This is what this podcast is about, right? So I'm going to give it to you straight and say that I hate that I have to call him out, but he's playing terrible.
Yeah.
So,
I can agree.
all right, most underrated player.
So I'm gonna go pitcher and defense slash bat. I think the most underrated bat slash defense has been Edmundo Sosa, 100%. He's stepped up when needed. I mean, without Trey Turner, we're still winning games, and he was killing the baseball. He did drop off a little bit, but he's still like his glove is invaluable. And we were saying it before, like when we were criticizing Rojas, we just need Rojas to be sort of like an Edmundo Sosa. He doesn't have to hit for power like that, but
Mm-hmm.
same kind of concept. Excellent defender, and he can get hits and steal bases. As far as pitching goes, I think my most underrated pitcher this year so far um, is probably Matt Strom, because he doesn't get a lot of the love that some of the other names in the bullpen get, but Strom is just steady, and you can put him in any situation, and I'd be fine
And
with it.
at least he got his flowers too by getting
Mm-hmm.
put in the All Star game. So
Yep.
that was good for him. But I agree with that
Mhm.
one. Yeah. Um. All right. All right. So I'm gonna do two as well. Because I like that. I only had one, so I'm gonna start with my one at first. So I said a little bit ago that the Cy Young can go to four guys for the first half of the season, and Aaron Nola does not get as much credit as Aaron Nola deserves, at least from the standpoint from the rest of Major League Baseball. I mean, he
Hands
goes
down.
out there, he eats innings for you.
Mm-hmm.
He
Steady Eddie.
he he may have a bad inning, and it reflects because his bad innings are usually really bad. But when the knuckle curve is going, I said this the other day, it's the best pitch in baseball. When Aaron Nola's knuckle curve is on point, it's the best pitch in baseball. And for a rotation filled with Cy Young candidates, this team is not where they are right now without Aaron Nola going out there every whatever day and eating up those innings, saving the bullpen, just being consistent with his everyday approach. And he's he's doing what he's supposed to do. Now for bats, um, um, Sosa's a good one, but I'm not going to go that route. I think the Philadelphia Phillies fan base and a lot of people do not give Nick Castellanos enough appreciation as Nick Castellanos deserves.
They do.
Now, I know you guys expected something more for some reason, but if you take a look at Nick Castellanos' career, this is what Nick Castellanos is.
Yes.
Um, so from he's that guy that you get really frustrated with, right? But then a couple at bats later, you just need the president to say that he's not going to be running, and then he'll hit a home run.
I don't know how every big traumatic or weird event happens, and Nick Castellanos just goes yard. It's like a thing
So
just clicks in his brain. Just boom, you had a home run
he's
today.
like, "No, it's about me." um,
Screw the news. I am the
no,
news.
but realistically, not from my fanboy standpoint, the amount of doubles that Casty gets you, getting on base, and I know at times it's really frustrating, but he goes, especially right now, he's playing really well, and
Mhm.
the getting on base is getting hits and still filling the role that I probably thought Bryson Stott should be doing right now. Going back to my earlier least valuable thing. So I would have went with Sosa, but I wanted to go a different route. So
You just
yeah, I
wanted to
think
fanboy a little bit.
yeah, just a little bit. That home run today got me excited. Um,
That's what happened. You changed your answer,
I only put Aaron
huh?
Nola down. It was supposed to just be a direct Nola, but um, yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be. I think the hate should stop and just realize that he's going to make you frustrated, but he's also going to make up for it. So,
Mhm.
um, Nick Castellanos is my most underrated offensive player on the Philadelphia
Yeah.
Phillies. So, we're about to wrap up soon, but before we wrap up, let's do a what's what do we got going into the second half? Can this team keep going the same way they did the first half? Will they be able to keep going strong? Who's going to be the guy that goes out there and just helps us get to where we need to be? So let's hear it, Zach.
I mean, the second half of the season, I think, is going to be pretty tough. One, you have to stay healthy. And the good thing is we kind of had our bumps and bruises in the first half, I'm hoping. Um, Getting people back. And I think now we're at full strength pretty much. I mean, we just have to make sure Wheeler and Suarez are good with their little issues. But I do think that they'll keep it up the second half. I think I saw today the number to win the NL East is down to like 56 wins. I believe that's what it is. So
Okay.
56 more games or something like that. I forget exactly how that works, but 56 was there. So we're getting closer to that mark. Plus the Braves lost today, so we're still 8.5 games up on them, even after a down series against the Pirates. So
And a
I
down series
really think
versus the A's prior to it.
yeah, yeah. Going into the All Star break, that was so. It was nice to see a win today to get the momentum going. Hopefully into Minnesota tomorrow. But I really think the second half of the season, I think it's going to be a strong push, and I think people are going to just be like, "Wow, the Phillies are the powerhouse, and they're the team that's coming for it all this year. I think the one person that's really going to help us get there in the second half, aside from Trey Turner, because I think he's just going to go on a bonkers run and just be ridiculous. I think he'll catapult himself in the MVP. But as far as bat goes, other than him, because he's the obvious favorite, I think Bryce Harper is going to really get going and start really slugging like we see and know of the past. And then I think Zach Wheeler is going to come back and just absolutely shut it down and just take that Cy Young.
Yeah, I have Wheeler about to get hot. That's super important for um, going in the second half, and this team will go as far as Bryce Harper wants them to go. Um, that's what the second half will bring to you. If Bryce is gonna go in hot, there's no way that we're not gonna be able to keep winning. It's weird sitting here talking about Trey Turner more than Bryce Harper because this is Bryce Harper's team. But
Right.
going forward, we have to. Pitching needs to stay strong. We need Wheeler back to Wheeler. We need Ranger pitching big innings again, doing big things. But I think that this should be. It's going to be relatively harder during the second half. A lot of road games,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, the Phillies are obviously a different animal at home than they are on the road. But I don't think it should be that much of an issue. I think we'll finish this year with probably like 102 wins ish.
You think we'll break? You think we'll break the record?
I don't think we're breaking no record. It's so
I'm
hard to
saying the
do.
Phillies record,
What's the Phillies record for wins?
102.
Oh, we'll break. So fuck it, 103.
Yeah. We're going over, baby.
So I think they'll finish around 102, 103 wins. I wasn't gonna say it's three, but so I
Now we're
think
doing it.
now, yeah, they're definitely doing it now. So anything over 103 wins is what we want. And I think they'll do it. So the team will take him as far as Bryce Harper is. Trey Turner's going to win MVP. I'm sorry to Shohei lovers and stuff like that, but I can't give the MVP to a DH. That's me. So
It's gonna
hopefully,
happen.
I know, but that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
He
We're
is
giving
ridiculous, though.
okay, but we're not giving MVP to a DH. I'm sorry. It's different when he's pitching and give him some.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's doing something else. But no, I'm not giving the MVP to a DH. I'm going to give the MVP to the player who deserves it the most, who's going to win the World Series and not lose in the NLCS. So, so I'm going to give it to Trey Turner, and this team is ready for that big push. We know what this. Molly, stop it. We know what this team can do when it
He
comes
agrees with
to.
you.
Yeah, someone has to. This team has shown for the last 2 years that this is when they start getting hot. Is it going to be the same thing now that we're have the best record in baseball, or are we going to try to? Is it going to? I don't think we're going to fall off though. So I think we're going to be just fine going in the second half, and we'll be here to talk about it, and hopefully talking about the third World Series championship in Philadelphia Phillies history. So
Yes. That would be great.
we made jokes about Madison not being here, but we do miss you and we hope you come back on the podcast soon. Merchandise is currently still up on the link tree with on Instagram and Facebook. I believe it's on there too. Just go there, click it, and you can purchase a Fanatics T-shirt.
Beautiful T-shirt.
They come in
Very
many different sizes. Many different long sleeves, and short sleeves, and hoodies, and performance tees, and Under Armours, and
pajama pants,
pajama pants. Yes, and
sweatpants.
hats.
Yes, hats.
And soon,
Hats.
I'm thinking maybe we'll just put some underwear on there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's a market. It's a market.
I'm not
Everyone
going to
needs.
be the model for that.
I'll do it. I'll do
That's
it.
all. That's all you.
So so that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we'll show them off on here.
Nice.
But Yeah,
can we have
go
some like
purchase.
music in the background for that?
Yeah,
Are we
definitely,
gonna have a
definitely.
runway like Victoria's Secret model status?
Yes, definitely. So yeah, so purchase some merch.
Purchase
After
the
this,
merch.
purchase the merch for I can make the underwear thing happen. So
Yes, yes.
I can't
If you
make that
want it to
happen
happen, purchase it.
until you start buying some more t-shirts. Um, and then of course, like and subscribe to these videos because we get a lot of people who watch the videos, but we don't have a lot of people that like and subscribe to the videos.
Even if you
If you're
don't
gonna,
like it, just push the down button, whatever.
yeah,
Push
just
something, right?
yeah, dislike us. It'll still help the algorithm somehow.
It'll help us out because then we know what we need to
Then
do
we know
better,
what we
don't we?
have to switch up, or just comment and tell us what you want us to switch up, how we can make it better for
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
But we would appreciate some comments and some subscribers because that's what this is all about. We're trying to make sure you come to us for your random Phillies talk throughout the week. So,
Mhm.
um, but that about wraps it up. We will be back next week, and we'll probably be back in bunches. So we'll have the Sunday regular podcast, and then going to on the 30th, if need be, me and Zach will probably hop on here. I know Madison probably won't be joining us for that either, but we'll hop on here and we will do some updates on any trades that do happen. It should be fun, guys. We're gonna be. This is now we're in crunch time. Wow, I can't talk. We're in crunch time, and the rest of the season is about to get really exciting. So, don't forget to like and subscribe. Zach, do you have any famous last words?
No.
No.
Other than
Okay.
let's go Phillies.